Hello Traceable Designers. Today we're making a dual fabric center panel for the Arched Corice style valance. We'll be working with the Arched design form from the Traceable Designer Cornice style valance kit. To begin, we'll make our base layer first. This is a fully lined panel and I'm using a folded fabric section to size my fabric. I'm using the small sizing line along the folded fabric edge, so make sure you have plenty of fabric around all of the edges for tracing. Then just cut your fabric to size, leaving plenty of excess. Pull out your fusible fabric backing from your kit. Make sure you have the glue side facing down, and we will be positioning this on the back side of your fabric, making sure that it fits within the edges. You don't want to overlap onto the ironing board or you will deposit glue on your ironing board. Use a medium-high heat with no steam and use a sweeping motion from the center out to the left and to the right, making sure that you don't overlap onto your ironing board, and fuse that backing right to the back side of your fabric to deposit the glue. Allow the paper to cool completely before you remove it, and then just peel that back. Keep it in one piece so that you can use that to protect your ironing board later when you're adding your trim. Next, you'll cut a large piece of lining that will cover the entire fabric section and extend past all the edges. You want to make sure that the lining does cover every bit of the glue, and then we're going to fuse that right to the back side of the fabric. So you'll use a sweeping motion from the center out. This will prevent any buckling, so you slowly move along with your iron from the center out toward the sides and continue until you've completely fused the lining to the back of the fabric. Then just flip the fabric over. If you notice a little bit of buckling, just run an iron over that to flatten that out. Fold your fabric section in half, and then you want to pin it to secure it. And then I am using the small sizing line, so I'm positioning that right along the folded fabric edge, and then we will be using the height line for the center panel. Make sure that your design form is raised enough so that when you're tracing on the bottom, you are tracing over lining that is fully secured to the back of your panel. So starting on the right side, just follow the shape of the design form right around, tracing over to the folded edge. Then you'll want to mark that right side height line, and then just slide your design form down. Make sure your left line is straight across the folded section, and then just trace right across the top of the design form to mark the panel height cut line. So turn the fabric section so the folded edge is facing you, then carefully follow the trace line all the way around the design form and up the right side across the top. Then you'll just turn the panel again with the cut side facing you and cut straight across the panel height cut line. Then just open your panel and run a quick iron across the front, and we'll move on to the fabric layer number 2. The Arched design form also includes an insert panel sizing line. This is 2 inches smaller than the base panel, which I use the small panel. So I'm going to need to cut about 34-35 inches of fabric to make my 32-inch wide panel. I also have a print, so I want to try to balance that in the middle. So when you're sizing your fabric, make sure that you take that into account. Then just follow the same process for attaching the backing to the back of your fabric section. This section will not receive lining. We're going to be removing the paper to expose the glue and then fusing this panel directly on top of the finished base panel. So now we're going to fold the fabric section in half, and remember, I am lining up my center print. Also, I want to make sure that the design form falls below my print, so I'm measuring to see the placement for that. And then I'm just going to mark my paper, because I don't have a lined section, this is just the fusible backing, so that I know where to position the lower edge of my design form for tracing. So now I'm positioning the insert panel sizing line. I'm not worried about the height of this panel because we'll be cutting that off. And I also have the lower edge of my design form across that marker on the bottom, so I know that my design form shape will fall below the print on the fabric. I'm also not tracing a height cut line because this is going to be positioned over the base panel, and then I will adjust the height. So just follow the trace line to cut out your top layer. You'll just follow along as you did with the base panel. Cut that all the way around the right side and then straight up the top. You can leave the upper edge uncut. So now we have to evenly position the top panel on top of the base. So there are a couple of tricks to try to get that centered pretty easily. So with the base panel, just fold it in half and then run an iron along the crease. This way you'll be able to put a pin in the very center so that you know where that is located. And what I've done here is I've creased it, but then it's got quite a bit of a crease. So once I put the pin in there, I'm going to run an iron again to get rid of some of that crease, just in case that would show through when I fuse the top layer. So now remove the paper from the back of your second layer, and then we're going to mark the center of that panel as well. Do not let the glue side touch. Make absolutely certain that that doesn't get connected, because that will be very difficult to get apart, especially if it's still warm. It'll fuse together. So fold the fabric section together and then just pin the middle of your top layer so you know the very center positioning. So now you'll position your top layer on top of your base layer and align your pins so you've got the center. You're going to be using a 2-inch margin. The outside edges of your panel will have a 2-inch margin. So you want to make the bottom match. So make sure the left and the right side are both 2 inches up. Make sure everything's really, really straight before you fuse your top panel down. So now we're going to start in the middle. Now you do have exposed glue above this panel. So I'm anchoring it first, pulling out the pins and anchoring that in the center. Then I'm going to put my white paper behind this so that when I fuse this down, I don't glue the top section or fuse it to my ironing board. So now just run the iron all the way around the edges, across the center and up to the top. You want this completely sealed before you move on to the trim or before you flip it over to cut off the excess. So take your time. Do not hold the iron in one place or you will wind up with iron marks. Keep it moving. If you do have delicate fabric, put a piece of lining over top to do this part so you don't burn your fabric. So then once it's sealed, flip it over and then just cut that excess strip off across the top, and then really double check to make sure that is fully sealed before we do the trim. So now we're moving on to edge trim. I'm using a 3/8 inch braided gimp trim. The smaller, thinner trim is really better for that inside section. So I've sized that off with some excess. Make sure you always give excess because you don't want to run out in the middle of using it. So size off the trim on both the inside and the outside of the panel. Then I always like to run the trim underneath an iron to get it nice and flat so it goes on more easily. I'm doing the inside layer of the trim first. I'm using a tube glue, which is a fabric glue. It goes on nice and clean and dries clear. This is the Unique Stitch. So just really follow along carefully. Really the most important part is that you're really following this shape. This makes a huge difference in how professional your valance will turn out. So take your time and just lay the trim on top and follow that curve as closely as you can, slowly. The glue takes a little while to dry, so you have a little time for repositioning. Follow those curves really, really well all the way around, and just make sure that the shape is really pronounced. When you get to the bottom of the strip that goes across, run your glue completely across and then pull the strip straight and then just lay it on top. That way you'll make sure that your trim along the bottom is completely level and straight. Then continue up around the side before you move on to the outside edge. Then we'll just seal those edges behind the panel to hide them. One thing about the glue is if by chance you've pulled it too tight or you have a little bit of a gap, it's not a problem. All you have to do is just peel the trim back off and then just re-glue it and reposition it to make it absolutely perfect. It's really best to double check this early on before the glue has completely sealed. Okay, for our final step, we're going to prepare the panel for hanging. You do have sticky back Velcro in your kit. We're going to use the soft side, and we're going to seal it to the back of the panel top edge on the lining side using strips of heat and bond. So just position about 2.5 inch pieces of backing that will match up to the Velcro on the back of your rod. Follow the instructions for preparing the rod and the side panels. So I'm positioning my fusible backing where my sticky back Velcro will be placed. I'm putting one in the center, and then I have folded this over to make sure my placement is correct for my side panels. So just fuse that down. Once that has dried, peel that paper back to expose the glue. Don't skip this step. If you try putting the sticky back Velcro on the lining without using the backing to secure it, they'll just come right off. So just peel the paper back and then position the pieces of soft side Velcro across the back of your panel. Do make sure that your Velcro pieces match the back pieces on your curtain rod. Then follow the instructions for making cornice style arched side panels to hang with your center panels. Thank you for joining me, Traceable Designers, and remember, you can always make your mark with Traceable Designer.